Hello everyone out there in tax land, and the tax man here. Listen, taxes don't have to be hard. Here we take complex tax subjects and we make them easy because we want the average person to understand, to benefit, and to save money. And today we're going to be talking about the big news in the tax world this week, and that is that the IRS has extended the filing deadline from April 15th to May 17th. Let's get to it. So the primary topic I want to focus on in this video is exactly why the IRS is delaying the filing deadline. And the biggest reason is that the IRS is way behind in processing returns. They are currently sitting on a pile of 24 million unprocessed returns, many of which were filed by paper that they've received but have not processed yet. And this backlog of unprocessed returns is causing massive problems with delayed refunds and sometimes even delayed stimulus payments. Because remember, like for stimulus 2, you had to have your 2019 filed and processed. If your 2019 has been filed, but the IRS has not yet processed it, you have not gotten stimulus 2 yet. And speaking of stimulus payments, don't forget that the IRS is the agency responsible for paying and keeping track of all these stimulus payments. The stimulus 1 caused them delays last summer, stimulus 2 caused them delays in January, and now they have a third stimulus payment to pay out. So I think the real reason that the IRS is delaying this deadline is not to give taxpayers more time, it's to give the IRS more time, to convince more taxpayers to spread out, to get more to file closer to May rather than April so they can get through some of these old returns and hopefully get more caught up and ensure an overall more smooth filing season. And now I'm being hard on the IRS. I don't want to be too hard on the IRS because there's one other factor at play here as to why they're extending this deadline, and that is the passage of the American Rescue Plan Act. This was signed into law on March 11th. Of course, in America, we love this. It's the act that's responsible for the third round of stimulus checks, but it also made a change to the tax laws that affects the taxes for last year rather than for upcoming years. And that's something that Congress rarely does. One of those changes was they made unemployment benefits up to $10,200 for most taxpayers tax-free. And this is a huge benefit to the millions of Americans who were on unemployment last year, spent every dollar of the unemployment, did not account for taxes, and are looking at a tax bill on their 2020 tax return. So now that's been, partially at least fixed. There's going to be some relief for a lot of those taxpayers, but that applies to this year as we're filing. And it's the middle of tax season. So it's very, very hard for the IRS to be able to input all these changes right in the middle of the season. It's like trying to repair a plane while you are flying it. So in addition to all the stimulus payments, there's also these changes that have been made that affect the law right now that the IRS is grappling with, and is yet another reason why they're delaying that filing deadline. So now the federal filing deadline for 2021 is officially moved to May 17th, but there's still a couple of things I want you to keep in mind. Number one, if you live in one of these states, Texas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, the federal filing deadline is even further in the future. It's June 15th, and that was part of the package to help those states cope with the terrible winter storms that occurred there over this winter. Next, while the federal filing deadline has moved, the state deadlines may not. Last year, when the federal filing deadline moved, all of the states updated their due date to be the same. It was July 15th last year, but that has not yet happened this year. I'm expecting that it will, but as of right now, it has not, and I want to make sure that you're paying attention to that state filing deadline. You certainly don't want to accidentally get a state late file penalty because you're assuming the state and federal date are in alignment when in fact they're not. So to keep your ears open for that. And if May 17th still is not enough time to get everything together and file your return, you can still file an extension. That extends the due date to October 15th. Just keep in mind that the extension is an extension of time to file, not an extension of time to pay. So if you owe any tax, make sure you're still paying by May 17th. Otherwise, you might be incurring some late pay penalties, and we certainly want to avoid that. So there you have it, the inside scoop on exactly why the IRS is extending the federal filing deadline for this year. Now, if you've got questions about filing a return, if you need help filing a return, or you're concerned about how you are navigating through all the various changes this year and would like some help, give my firm a call. Give us a call at 1-800-424-8332. Or if you're a Spanish speaker, please give us a call at 888-523-6606. How was that, huh? I am Dan, the Tax Man, tax professional with Community Tax. If you like what you saw, give us a like, give us a subscribe so that you can make sure that you stay up to date on all the latest tax news and information. And I will see you next time.